Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anita. I'm a Zambian living in Lagos, Nigeria. Today I'm just going to be doing a short story time. I'll just be sharing with you the experience that I had with one of my fish pond workers who was stealing from me. This guy was a guy that I trusted so much that I didn't give him like my key to my storeroom where I keep my feed and my fish pond keys, but I trusted him so much that he couldn't steal from me, and I trusted my fish ponds as well, that they were completely secure. So you can sit back, relax, and let me just share this story with you. So going like backwards, like 4 years ago, I employed this guy through a house help that I had, an outside girl. She helped me to get this guy from Plateau State. So I brought this guy, and he was like 18 years old at the time. He was very young, and it was his first time like to come to Lagos. So he was so eager to work. He was like happy to be getting a salary and happy to have gotten a job in the city, and he was just excited, and he was working very well. He was taking care of my fish. He was taking care of my compound. Like the surroundings were very clean and very neat, and my fish was always like in clean water. This guy asked me that he wants to leave. I was like, okay, why are you leaving? He was like, okay, his girlfriend has found him a better job, because the day he was leaving, I found out actually that he was living with his girlfriend, which I would not have allowed if I had known before. But then I was like, okay, no problem. He left, and by the grace of God, the same day he left, my husband found somebody to replace him. So I was very happy for that. Actually, the guy left on a Saturday, and my husband found somebody on a Friday, because my husband wanted them to be two of them apparently. So I started up with this other new guy, and everything was going well until after about a year of having the new guy, I felt like the old guy was doing better than this guy, because this guy had a lot of flaws, and the other guy was continuously calling me that he needed his job back. And so since he didn't do anything wrong the first time he was working for me, I decided that let me bring him back. So I brought him back, and then after working for me like for another year, this is now where we landed. So I traveled to Zambia. I stayed in Zambia like a month plus. And then when I came back, I don't live in the same neighborhood where my fish ponds are. But I usually go to the same neighborhood. So when I went there, some people around were telling me like what's been going on. So I was like, okay, but then I didn't have evidence. So I didn't talk. I was just quiet until one man called me up, and he called me like around 2 o'clock. He was like, this guy has been selling your fish, madam. Come and check it out. Do something so that the guy will stop selling your fish and everything like that. So because in the society where we are in Nigeria, everybody is an advisor, and I really appreciate people who advise, because you cannot be wise all by yourself. So hearing from others is good, and I'm a good listener. So the man called me. He told me everything that is going on. So just like it was in the afternoon, I was like, I have to do this today. So I did my school run and everything, and by 5 o'clock I was in my fish pond area. So I was looking for somebody who will help me to flaunt that they want to sell the fish, because I had to catch this guy red-handed. If you don't catch somebody red-handed, and by the way, it was 30th October, it was time to pay him. It would look like I'm doing that so that I don't pay him. It would look like I'm being wicked. So I was like, no, I cannot work without red evidence and without catching him red-handed. So what I did, I found a guy in the street. I just gave the guy like 1,000 to go and flaunt like he wants to buy the fish from the guy. So he went to I told him that he should flash me, like he should beep me on my phone, like when somebody enters the fish pond or when they remove the fish for him. So, and I parked very far because the building is like upstairs. So maybe I said just in case he would go upstairs and check, or maybe his girlfriend would be upstairs or something like that. So what I just did is I parked very far. And when the guy flashed me, I just rushed down. I just drove down. I parked my car outside. And then I was a bit nervous, actually. Why I was nervous was because I was going alone. I didn't know what to expect. And I know that was a very wrong decision. To go alone for such a thing was wrong. I was supposed to have gotten somebody else to go with, because I found myself in a very awkward position. So I went inside my fish pond building, and I just saw these guys. This is my worker. This is his young brother inside my pond. The guy that wanted to buy the fish is next to my worker, and then my neighbor is like in the other yard, like standing with them. I was so surprised. So this is his young brother now trying to come out of my pond. This pond here is open because there are no fish inside. So I did expect that this guy would actually be removing this wood, and then he would actually hammer it back on, so that this guy can be able to pass through the pond. I was like so shocked. This was the last thing I expected. I didn't expect them to actually enter inside the pond. I thought that maybe they would be scooping out the fish or something. So this was like unexpected. So this guy is now trying to come out of the pond. I was so shocked. I was like, so somebody can actually go to this extent of stealing, like removing the thing completely and then putting it back. So why I'm making this video, it's just to share with you guys out there who have workers to be very careful with your workers, and those who are workers as well. In this life, we have all worked in one organization or the other. It is good to be trustworthy. It pays to be trustworthy. Like this guy, after like 3 days after this incident, I had to release him. I released him and he was so broke. He was begging. You can see the wickedness that he did to me. This fish I have not even sold any of this fish. This feed these fish eat is like 11,500 naira a bag, which is like 33,000 in a day. And this guy will be selling my fish without any consideration. So you can see how some people think and how shallow they are, because he was selling this fish and he wasn't selling it for the correct price, because I gave the guy 1,000. And fish now, you'd imagine what kind of fish he wanted to bring out for 1,000. How many fish can you sell 1,000? So this video is just, I'm just sharing, sometimes you'd have workers and you'd overtrust them. I'm not saying that everybody is bad, but out of 100%, very few are the ones that are good in that 100%. So it's very good to be very careful. Like me, I secured my ponds. I didn't even expect this. Even the guy that made these ponds, if I told him like how this guy was hammering it out, hammering it back, somebody would think it's not practical, because it sounds so extreme, where you'd go to that extent of even maybe removing a whole door and then hammering back the door after you've stolen, so that your boss would not find out. But actually, some workers go to this extent of stealing. And so I just want us to be more careful. If you have workers, you can just be more careful and be more observant. And as well, like this fish pond or this livestock business, you have to monitor it very well. It's because I wasn't around that the guy knew that I wasn't around. And because, if you're going to a place very often, you'd actually notice like this wood, what's going on with the wood. And then, this wood that he was removing was from the back, because he knows that maybe it's difficult to see the back of the pond. So we just have to be more observant in this business going forward. So if you've watched this video to this point, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe.